Hey y'all, what is going on? Today is September 12th, 2025. It's Friday. Give yourselves a round of applause because you know how I am about the work weeks. You did well, you know what I'm saying? You gave your energy, you know what I mean? Your time, your dedication. So kudos to you guys. I know it's been a minute since I've posted. It's been a very good week, very reflective, as I've always stated. And just figuring things out in the background. But I'm going to go ahead and get to it, y'all. I think this is going to be one of the videos where you will definitely get to know who I am and the reason of my platform. I'm gonna be honest with you so I can stay on the right track. You know what I'm saying? I wrote down things that I wanted to say. So if it's meant for you, you will get the message. You know what I'm saying? And if not, if you don't stay until, that's fine too. Maybe another time or, whenever you're ready. But I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I've written it down. So y'all got to, bear with me. Um, you may hear little cartoons in the back. That's just what it's been on for the day. Yeah, sometimes I watch cartoons, or sometimes I just put it on the channel just to have something going. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say a disclaimer right quick. I'm going to first start off and say the name of my video, or the name of the topic is my awakening experience. My story time. I was on a mental ward, and what led me to where I am today spiritually. So I'm going to go ahead and say a quick disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor or a licensed psychologist. I'm not here to speak against professionals or medication. I'm simply sharing my personal experiences and perspectives. If you're taking medication or dealing with mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider and do what's best for you. This topic may be sensitive or triggering for some. I ask that viewers approach it with understanding and keep harsh judgments to themselves. Let's keep this space respectful, okay? That's why I say a lot of my videos and content may not be for everybody, and that's fine. It's for people who have the eyes to see and who have the ears to hear. All right. And I also want to state that this is a safe place. This is a judgment-free zone. You're sure you're what I put. You're safe to listen, reflect, or share without fear of being attacked or dismissed. I'm here to offer insight and guidance, not to tell you what to do. So let's continue to grow and learn together respectfully and openly. All right, let's get to this. I'm going to go ahead and read, y'all. So just get comfortable and just kind of hear what I'm saying. I hope the volume is up because I'm banking off 3 hours of sleep, but I felt the need. Spirit said go, so that's what I'm doing. But anyway, let's get to it. The reason I am spiritual and the story that led me up to it. Let's just dive straight on in. I was on the mental ward back and forth for the course of 3 months. This took place in 2016, and what I believe led me to that point was chronic stress from my home life, my workplace, and within myself. In other words, I think it was the initiation to the original version of who I am today. Anyway, I wasn't sleeping properly during this time. I weren't sleeping much, if any at all. I just remember everything feeling heavy. It definitely felt different from anything that I had ever witnessed in my life. I remember this experience taking place around the holidays of 2016. Now, while they may be blurs from that experience, some things I remember very vividly. That night in November, I had prepared after working a shift that Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember the exact day. But I know a few days after Thanksgiving, things changed rather quickly. I was under so much stress from my job where I was dealing with petty things or situations from a lot of unhealed women, including myself. And I'll just keep it at that. And at home in my personal life, I was dealing with the man who was also unhealed at the time. And I'll also keep it at that. respectfully. To make a long story short, one morning I woke up, I felt very empty inside, to whereas I was unable to get my children ready for school, nor was I capable at the time to drop them off to school like I normally would do. So I had to call my mother to take me to get assistance and or get an evaluation from an outpatient clinic. Going forward, I was told that what did I put? Going forward, I was told that morning that I was staring out of space. I had no emotions, and if I did, it was non reactive at that time. Let me just take you back to the previous day. Mind you, leading up to this day, I was at this toxic, hostile workplace. I remember going into work that day, silent, not saying much to anybody. And then all of a sudden, I seen a flash of light in the front of my eyes. And I heard a shudder from a camera. And immediately after that happened, y'all, I developed a strange sense of knowing about everything and everyone. Like the veil had been lifted from my eyes. At work, then all of a sudden, people started walking up to me, talking to me like it was scripted or on cue. They are just rambling. They were just rambling. And I was not responding. I was only observing, y'all. Immediately, I scanned their intentions and instantly seen their true essence, if they had any, for who and what they were. Some majority was empty shells, y'all. No lie. And some had souls. I seen through the mask of people. I knew who hated me and who genuinely liked me. And that was only a handful. I also knew what these individuals were dealing with in their personal and professional life. It's like I had an automated sensing detective installed, or let's say activated within me. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, what I heard, and what I felt. I was frightened, delighted, and in awe at the same time. I guess at that point, it was time for me to clock out for work. I couldn't tell because time was non-linear for me. I didn't feel any time. So if it were at the end of my shift or not, I wouldn't have known. I just felt a huge sense of just being, and I left. Then as I proceeded to leave, I was hearing other people's thoughts as I walked past them. I also remember that ride home. My now ex and children were in the car that day. I guess they could sense a big change in me because everyone was quiet. I mean, just quiet. It was a long ride home. And the crazy part, I only stayed 5 minutes away from work at that time. Furthermore, y'all, my senses had heightened. Furthermore, my senses and heightened awareness would intensify. It seemed every hour on the hour. If I could give an estimate of what linear time was. So as I was looking out the car window, excuse me, y'all. So as I was looking out the car window on the way home, excuse me, y'all know y'all get. Let me take a second. Ooh, throat trying to dry up. We ain't doing this. I'm getting this message out. So here we go. So as I was looking out the car window on the way home, I started noticing the patterns of sensitivity with intense sensitivity. All the cars, the labels, the titles on buildings. I noticed every and anything, down to the solid observation of the red, yellow, and green of the street traffic lights. I was intensely observing the behaviors of how people were in formation and or almost robotic-like. Everyone in line. Everything was just in a straight line. It looked rehearsed or scripted. It was theater-like I should say. And then at that very moment, I heard in my mind, y'all, no lie. I heard in my mind at that moment, this is all an illusion. This is the Matrix. After that point, I lost my mind. Next thing you know, I was on the psychiatric ward. Now, to bring you back to the moment during that Thanksgiving break, I don't remember the exact day, but whichever day it was the next morning, and I couldn't get my kids ready for school. I didn't sleep that previous night, so at that point, my mother took me to an outpatient clinic to be evaluated. I left and I didn't want to stay. Then someone took me the next day, and again, I didn't stay. Going let's see. I didn't stay that next day either. So going in detail of what happened all that day, I will leave that out. I'm gonna leave some mystery until I release my memoir. But I will say this. What took place that day led me to a few stays on that psychiatric ward. Now getting deep, y'all. And in this psychiatric ward, my experience got no better. Well, a few pros. I had some decent sleep. Hell, felt like I had no choice. That medication was so strong. That shit will put you out. So I caught up on some much needed sleep. And the showers were hot. And I didn't have to clock into no toxic ass job. Other than it was a playing field. As I've mentioned earlier in my story, I could read minds, hear thoughts, and see intentions for what it was. And how I know that I could have read someone's mind. For example, I could look at a person, hear what was in their mind, and a few seconds later, they would say the exact words. No bullshit, for real. Let's also just say that majority, if not all, that worked on that psychiatric floor may have needed to be evaluated themselves and committed into a room they damn self. I can say that. And I am talking about some doctors and counselors. I think at the linear time, though, I was starting to control and manage my psychic abilities, or my heightened perspective, if you will, a little bit more better. I was able to focus more on one individual at a time and really zoom in through that mask expeditiously, and I was very sharp with it. I will also have to tell you about a conversation I had with a very high-class psychiatric doctor. Let's just say I'm pretty sure after that one-on-one conversation, she went home and evaluated her entire life and made the necessary changes within her life for the better. I'll also save that for my book, that conversation. But back to the story. I know that the doctors knew I was having an awakening, a Kundalini one. My third eye was open, to be exact. And of course, where am I at? Oh, and of course the doctor's typical routine they always train to do is what? Monitor, study, record, and document. It's sickening, y'all. That's what took place. Anyway, I also know that 50% of those patients were crisis actors, including some medical staff. I mean, what y'all want me to say? I seen through the bullshit of it all. I seen everything. I seen through the bullshit of it all. That's how I know everything in life is a game. It's fake. It's an illusion. And we can change whatever we want in our life if we become unplugged from the programming, unplugged from the conditioning and the lies. And at that point, you're aware that you are the main character in your life. Things will never be the same after that insight. Anyway, back to the story. I remember having a conversation with another patient. I remember asking them, what is the plan for today? And also asking what was the reason of the activities we had to participate in. That was all I asked. And all I know, a few hours later, it was in one of my reports that I was trying to manipulate and cause a disruption in someone's treatment. What? Like, huh? How did a doctor feel the need that I was even capable of doing that? I mean, I was diagnosed with psychosis. Well, they couldn't diagnose me with anything other than having a break from reality. See what I did there? But anyway, why would they hold me accountable by asking logical questions? What made them think that I could even do something like that unless they already knew what I was capable of doing in the first place, huh? The point of me being there was to label me crazy, right? That's what it stated on paperwork anyway. All that I'm going to say about that is that it was a very sick game on that psychiatric ward. So much that I can speak on about it. But I'll save it for another time. But I would say that I didn't eat there. I thought that I was being poisoned. I didn't eat for days unless someone bought me something from home. One key part, though, I hated the medicine. I didn't want to take it at all. Let's just also say that they had to get 5 people to hold me down, including 2 men. And they still couldn't do nothing with me. I was even physically stronger than usual, y'all. No lie, no fucking bullshit. I can't make this up. Anyway, I was even physically stronger than usual. I tore that room up. It went on for about 30 minutes. Then I finally said, fuck it, and just let them stick that needle of poison in one of my ass cheeks. But just know that during that stay on that mental ward, I felt less than an animal. I felt disrespected, misunderstood, mocked, belittled, betrayed, and violated. In the same breath, I knew that I was going through the dark night of the soul. I was purging, y'all. Purging. I was going through so much within myself. I even found out that for a very short time that I even hated myself. Well, let's just say the ego. At that point, I was purging, and there are no words to put in some context how that experience felt. But some pros of the ordeal. I met a patient ward friend. I definitely got cardio in, and I walked laps around that mental ward 90% of the time. And the showers were hot, and I was in a place of stillness and quiet when I was in my assigned room. Other than diabolical. I'm gonna be honest too. I met about 3 cool counselors on that ward. 3. They were cool. Furthermore, but each visit on the ward was 3 to 7 days. And within a course of 3 months, I visited that place 3 to 4 times, y'all. No lie. When my third eye busted open, I couldn't handle it at the time. And what come with the psychiatric visit, y'all? I had to agree to stay on medication and visit a shrink. And this shrink, I have no words. Let's just say she was more concerned about me taking medication than she was about my overall well-being. And in my opinion, I think that speaking to a psychiatrist has no meaning. The only thing that some, if not all, let's make that clear, want you to do is stay in the loop. They want you to stay drowned in your trauma and your experiences and continue to talk about it without coming up with a solution and a resolution for your involvement, for your evolution. Some make you seem like processing your emotions is unhealthy. That's why what works for me may not work for others. But anyway, people were telling me, oh, you have to stay on your medication. If you don't, you can revert or have an episode. How? I was not diagnosed with anything. The only thing they could think of was an episode of psychosis. They said that I needed my medications. Oh, let me mention, I can't speak for all, only myself. But being on those fucking medications will have you feeling like a zombie. You feel like a prisoner within your own self. You feel stuck and zoned out. And the side effects are diabolical. A year after taking that medication, my blood pressure stayed up for a few years. So I am not too sure if it was from the meds itself or the Kundalini experience. But yeah, they said to stay on my medication, you need it. But here's the kick. This is the resolution right here. Really? They said that I really needed to stay on my medication, right? Or really? You know what? Here we go. It's been 9 years since I've taken any psychiatric medications. 9 years since I've seen a shrink. 9 years since I've been on social media. I've healed myself by changing my diet, by walking away from people, places, or things that no longer served me, including that toxic ass fucking job. By grounding, journaling, observing, being present in the moment. By getting to know myself all over again. The new original version. I ain't gonna say new, I'm gonna say the original version. And most importantly, keeping myself first by knowing that I am who makes me whole and happy and free. Knowing that I was the one who did the healing. I put that fucking work in. Nobody else did it for me. I had to do it myself. While having other people at the same time point at me, blame, laughed, mocked, joked, and took advantage of my situation. People thought that I was mentally done for. They thought I was done for. They thought I was gone. They finally thought that they finally seen me at my lowest. But the truth is, I was at my highest. And continue to float even higher to this day. I'm going to be honest. That shit wasn't easy. That was the most hardest shit that I could ever probably fathom or experience in my life, y'all. You have to go all the way in through that experience and put that work in. But believe me when I tell you, it's worth waiting on trusting the process. In that dark phase, I had to let a lot of shit go. I had to unlearn everything that I was taught. But in that dark phase, I had to pick up my dignity, confidence, motivation, spiritual, inspiration, willpower, strength, control of self, spiritual armor, physical armor, self-respect, forgiveness, trust, integrity, understanding, understanding, overstanding, and peace. It's safe to say that I've healed a large amount of trauma, including my ancestors. I've transmitted that pain into power. And I survived it. And I'm here to talk about it. While at the same time of doing that process, I had to put down for good, for all, self-pity, hate, guilt, shame, fear, disappointments, materialism, delusions, lack, low self-esteem, heartbreak, worrying, disrespect, the past, the wouldas, the shouldas, the fucking couldas, the what ifs, and expectations. Although I may have more healing to do, it's also safe to say that I finally feel whole and at peace within myself. And nothing or no one will ever be able to take that away from me. And to be honest with you, this has been the most I've ever felt alive in this thing we call life. I am the living proof. I am now filled with clarity and amazing heightened sensitivity of heightened psychic qualities. I am wide awake. I've witnessed the rebirth within myself and I survived it. And now I'm able to freely speak about it. Says a lot. I'm confident. I am content with whom I've become and where I am going. I know that there is no limit to reaching the final stage of healing. Getting to know who you are is limitless. And in my opinion, it's the main existence of life. I'm finally using my voice to assist in inspiring others, to put the work in. I'm inspired. Let's re-say this. I'm finally using my voice to assist and inspire others to put the work in within their lives and within themselves. What's the saying go? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. In addition, with that, without apologizing for making people uncomfortable and speaking my righteous truth, I've been through the fire many of times. I walked through it alone without ever being burned, with every part of me intact, no matter how hot the intensity was, or how dark the smoke was, or how dark the smoke was, I repeat. I was only left, but once that smoke, no, let me repeat this. I've been through the fire many of times. I've walked through it alone without ever being burnt, with every part of me intact, no matter how hot the intensity was or how dark the smoke was. Once that smoke cleared, I was only left with hieroglyphs, scars that screams symbolized a sovereign divine warrior. That's why I always say I can talk the talk because I don't walk the walk. I thank y'all for listening. I got chills. Look at this. I can't make this up. I got chills, y'all. This is only half of what I experienced. The previous videos and shorts that you can go back and look up on, go back and look at. Those were all the things that I experienced leading up to that final stage where I had an ego death and my third eye busted open through trauma and chronic stress. Even to this day, I'm the original version of who I am. I had to let go of what I thought I was. You have to go down to the deepest, darkest depths of who you truly are. And that's where you will find who you really are. I don't have this fucking platform for fame, for validation, or for none of that attention. I'm here because I survived what most, if any, have never survived. Or if they are, get stuck into a phase. Because walking up out of that shit, y'all, and you survive that shit, there's nothing that you can't survive in life if you can survive within yourself, facing yourself. You got to stop blaming external people and situations and places for how you truly feel about yourself. You have to drop the mask and go within and understand, overstand that you can be your own worst enemy. I got tired of the fakeness. I got tired of people pleasing. I got tired of hiding my voice. I got burnt out. I got tired of trying to be control of things that didn't serve me no more. I got tired of all of that. And in the process, I lost a lot of people. I walked away from a lot of people. A lot of people walked away from me. The point of my story is not to blame no medical figures or any of that. People, individuals, or family. None of that. I'm speaking on my own perspective, my own experience, on what I witnessed within myself. And it's so much more, so much deep, so much that I could talk about. But I want to save that in my memoir that I'm working on. The point of my memoir, let's split this up, is I witnessed something that majority or half of individuals may not face. Because let me tell you something. When that initiation starts, that death to rebirth, when it starts, it's a process. And a lot of people stop and they turn away from it because they can't face who? Themselves. When you can drop that mask and you surrender to all aspects of who you are, your light side, your dark side, your shadow self, like all the beings, the savage part, everything, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, when that merge together and you accept it and you sit there in your fucking thoughts by your fucking self and you survive that shit and you pull yourself up out of it. With all of the external judgment and all of the other stuff that you may lose. And on top of that, the experiences doesn't stop, the lessons doesn't stop, the growing doesn't stop. And to be able to go forward years later, the decisions that you make within your life to keep you on a journey, on a path where you was destined to complete, where you can sit here with nothing. Nothing. No house, no car, no money, no bank account, no man. No validation. No materialism to distract you. No active phone. Well, and you could just sit here and do nothing but speak your righteous truth. That's some powerful, amazing shit. And guess what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The things that I encountered, witnessed, saw, felt during that entire experience, I could never go back to sleep and close my eyes. Because not only was I at war with myself and came out alive and survived it whole, I seen the illusions, the delusions, the programming, and the conditioning of what this reality, the matrix, really is. So not only are you dealing with the death of your ego and the rebirth of your original self, you're dealing with the matrix. Y'all, I've seen things, heard things. I know the truth of what it is. I know everything. I was shown all of that within time is non-linear when you're having these experiences. I spoke with God, spoke with my higher self, my lawyers, all of that. And I ain't even gonna get started on other entities and beings. But just know that everything that we've been told from you know who is a lie. And I'm gonna leave it at that. This video is 30 minutes long. I read these things. I can tell you in real time, but I know I would have been all over the place. Maybe I'll do it on other videos going forward. But I just felt the need to get this out. This is the whole point of my platform, is to speak my truth and to inspire other people and to assist and guide them if they're ready to face themselves. I'm here for nothing else. I don't have nothing material. I don't have anything to hide behind, because this is who I am. No wigs, no glasses on at the moment, nothing material, but just myself. And I'm here speaking my truth without afraid of judgment. But I'm not having this on my platform. You're not going to come and feel as though you could be disrespectful, because I'm not forcing nobody to believe anything that I'm saying. I'm only speaking my truth and what I perceived and know to be true within myself. With that being said, you guys, I thank you for listening. I thank you for your patience. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for understanding, understanding, and overstanding. I appreciate you all. And with that being said, to my next video, you all have an amazing, amazing day and weekend. Continue being you. Let go of what no longer serves you. That's including relationships, friends, family, and sometimes yourself, the mask, the ego. And you feel so much better when you don't have to hold that mask up to your face, because you have nothing to hide from or run from. I accept all aspects of myself, but at the same time, I know I'm not my past. I'm not my job. I'm not my house. I'm not my money. I am who I know I am. I'm me. I'm not even my name. I am. I'm myself. And that has no titles or labels. Only frequency, energy, vibration, a presence. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the midst of getting things, situated, with my platform. Still trying to figure out a lot of things in my life. And I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I am proud of who I've become and where I'm going. I still have a long way to go. And I'm not even going to I'm not even going to cap. It's not easy. Because just because you're spiritual, which meaning you operate off a higher frequency, maybe the highest frequency, it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? You still go through things. You still have emotions to manage. You're just more aware of it and can adjust accordingly. Spirituality has nothing to do with religions or morality. It has everything to do with awareness, knowing yourself, and putting you first, and treat people and treat yourself how you treat others, or treat others how you treat yourself, and everything else follows. True wisdom isn't from things you could just learn off books or what somebody tell you. In my opinion, I think true wisdom is the experiences the remembrance, the experiences, the lessons, the heartbreaks, the misunderstandings, the disappointments, all of that is intertwined in one is wisdom. And to be able to sit and speak without unapologetically being sorry for making others uncomfortable. I think that is true wisdom. Yeah, I can go on and on all day. I don't even know if the entire video would be able to, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna end it right there. I may speak on this. Well, I will speak on, different perspectives and aspects and experiences that I came across during this awakening, which I believe my third eye opened. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It's just an amazing feeling. I can say that. I feel free. You know? But every day is a learning experience. I'm learning something every day. I don't know everything. And that's not my point. I operate on 0 point energy. I'm aware of who I am and wouldn't change it for nothing. So I hope this inspired someone. I hope somebody took something out of something. And, let's just keep this thing going. Let's find out who we are. Your soul is calling you. It's telling you all the time. Just listen and reflect. With that being said, have an amazing weekend. And take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. Put you first. And everything else will follow. Thank you for watching. Take care. Peace in.